Hey everyone, this is Ann with CNSave.com, and today's video is a very requested one, and that is an update to my selling on Amazon through FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. So I've been doing this about not quite 2 months, so I thought time for an update. I've got my numbers here. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share the good, the bad, and the really, really ugly. So if you want to hear the whole truth and nothing but the truth, then stay tuned. So if you watched my reseller story video, and if you haven't, I will link it below. I went through my whole history of selling online, including the 4 years that I sold heavily on Amazon doing merchant fulfilled. I had a gift business and I sold both on eBay and Amazon. I had all the products here, so I shipped them myself, and I did really, really well until competition pushed me out. Again, you can learn more in that video if you haven't seen it. But it had been about 3 or 4 years since I had sold on Amazon. And after that experience of doing really, really, really well and then just getting pushed out by all the competition, I was definitely gun shy about selling on Amazon again. Now, of course, I have my Kindle books, which is a different program, but it's still through Amazon. And I've seen that income go up and down. It's like a roller coaster. So, you know, me and Amazon, we have a love-hate relationship. I love you when you're really working, and I'm not so happy when it's not. So I was really reluctant to do FBA, which is similar to selling on Amazon on your own, but instead of you shipping the products, you send the products to Amazon, they ship them. And I just was like, do I want to get into another situation where maybe I'm going to do really well with Amazon and then have the rug pulled out from under me? But I thought, I got to give it a try. I got to, at least try. And I started with things I already had. I had a lot of new stock that I had been selling on eBay, and it was such a trickle that I was about at the point where I was just going to pull it and take it to the consignment store. But I thought, well, this stuff is barcoded. I can do it. So that was my first shipment. It was 4 boxes of, travel mugs and things. Again, it was my test. I wasn't really worried about making money on it, but I needed to go through the whole process. Now, because I sold on Amazon before, I still had my seller account. All I had to do was opt into the FBA option. And for me, it was pretty easy. It only took me a half hour to get that first shipment of stuff together because I already knew Amazon's interface and how to create listings. I just basically did what I did before, create my listings, but then instead of me shipping it, sent it to FBA and did a shipment. So I was doing that. And stuff got in, and I thought, well, I'll look at estate sales that I go to and Goodwill. If I can find new with tag, barcoded stuff, I'll give it a go. And so I got in a situation where I was able to get a bunch of free books. I was able to get stuff super cheap at Goodwill. So I started accumulating some more things, mainly books, media. I did buy some Christmas clearance, and I spent quite a bit of money on that Christmas clearance in terms of knowing that it's going to sit there a while. So between when I started and now, I would say I've sent in, I should have looked it up before I go, I think 18 boxes to FBA at this point. I haven't sent anything in a couple weeks, but there was an initial period where I was sending in a lot. So let's just say 2 months. It's a little less, but let's just say 2 months. In the last 2 months on Amazon FBA, my total sales have been $491.49. Doesn't that sound awesome? No. Actually, to date, I've only had one payout. I've gotten a payout for $40.84. So $491.49 in sales. I've only actually gotten $48.85 sent back to me. I've had 2 charges on my credit card from Amazon for $639. So a total of $78.39. Why? The fees and the shipping. So like I said, I sent in, I think 18 boxes. I had to pay shipping on all of those boxes. And even though you get a really great rate shipping on Amazon, these were big, heavy boxes. I had a lot of them. I had a lot of stuff. So I had quite a lot of shipping charges that I incurred. I'm paying the $40 a month, $39.99 professional seller account. So I've been charged that twice or 3 times now. I can't remember how many. I think I've been through 3 payment cycles. So twice I got charged that $40. That put me in the negative. Only once have I been in the positive when I got that payout for $48.85. So there's that. Then there are all the fees. Now, when I sold on Amazon, merchant fulfilled, fees were high. Fees were always higher than eBay. Knew it, yeah. FBA, the fees are even higher. You've got your regular selling fees, then you have your fulfilled by Amazon fees. I had been letting them label my stuff for me, which is an additional fee. And then I changed my settings this last time to only ship to one warehouse. So I'm trying to cut the shipping fees down. I did just order a new printer, and here's where we need to talk. I hadn't been watching how-to FBA videos or really doing much because, again, I knew how Amazon worked, and I just do better figuring things out for myself. But I had been hearing, you have to have an inkjet printer. You have to have an inkjet printer to print your labels. It has to be an inkjet or a thermal. I don't have an inkjet printer. I didn't want to buy an inkjet printer, not because they're expensive, they're cheap, but the ink's expensive. And I didn't want to buy a little thermal printer. I have a laser jet. People are like, you can't use a laser jet. Turns out it's the laser jet you're supposed to use, and you're not supposed to use the inkjet. Now, I know a lot of people are using them. They're saying they're getting away with it. They're putting the tape over it. But according to Amazon's policy, and I will link it below, you are not supposed to use an inkjet. You're supposed to use a laser jet or a thermal. So before everybody's like, I always use inkjet printer, I'll put the link below. Do what you want. If you want to break the rules, whatever. So this whole time that I didn't think I could print labels, I could because I have a laser jet. I've always had a laser jet. I've had a laser jet for 4 years. Before this laser jet, I had another laser jet. It's Laser Jet City around here. I had the machine to print my own labels, and it's my own fault because I was just, I've said this before, the YouTube videos and the Facebook groups and all this chatter, I'm not dissing it at all, but I do so much better when I just kind of don't put too much into that information, and I figure things out on my own. Had I just done my own research and looked up one simple thing, I would have known from the start I had the right printer. So I just found this out on Saturday too because I ordered a Dymo thermal printer because everybody's like, get the Dymo, get the Dymo. You can print the little labels out, get the Dymo, get the Dymo. Again, me just like, oh, everybody's get the Dymo. I ordered the Dymo. Then I was talking with a couple other people about FBA, and they're like, no, use the laser printer. It's the laser printer. Anyway, long story short, it's a laser printer. I have it. I've ordered labels. The Dymo's going to come. I will probably send it back. I ordered through Amazon and Amazon Prime, so that's no big deal. But this goes into the expenses. Okay, I have my laser printer. Ink is cheap on that. I only have to fill it like twice a year. I use it a lot. So I had to get the labels. I think it's paid $10 for labels. They're coming Wednesday. So let's go into the other expenses that I've incurred from selling on Amazon. There was that Dymo printer and a set of labels that I ordered. I'm going to send those back. But the label printer was $59.99 and an extra pack of labels $6.99. Those are going back. But if that's something you want to get, just know that that's the cost. I will link the Dymo printer that everybody uses as well as the labels. And I will link a LaserJet printer below that's similar to the one I have. So you know what I'm talking about if you're wanting these supplies. Then I ordered from Amazon $15 for some blank cassettes because if I pick up cassettes to sell and the cassette case is broken, I want to replace them. I spent $15.99 for blank CD cases. Same thing. If I find CDs and the cases are yuck, I can change them. I had to order more boxes. I have a lot of boxes. I had the sizes Amazon recommends, which is like the biggest it can be is 16 by 16 by 16. I ran out of those. So I ordered some more, 55.77. I'll link all these supplies below. And then I got some shrink wrap, $32.50 for shrink wraps because I want to start shrink wrapping some books. I also spent $45 on non-suffocation baggies to put plush and other loose open items in. So I have all of those expenses. Then there's the expenses for the items that I sent in. Now, most of it's been Goodwill, estate sale, free, super cheap, so it hasn't been much. But I did spend, I think, about $300 on retail clearance to send in. It's Christmas. It's going to sit there a while. So there's that cost. What was there? One more? Is that it? I think that was it. I think that was all of my money outlay. So when you count up money spent on items to send in. And I'm gonna only count the stuff I bought in retail, because the other stuff, if I didn't sell it there, I would have sold on eBay. And I could have sold the stuff I got retail on eBay too. So, but let's just say I spent $400 on inventory to send into FBA, plus the cassette tapes, the CD cases, the boxes, the shrink wrap, the poly bags, labels for my printer. You know, you're looking at over $650 on supplies and merchandise to send in to Amazon. Take out the money I spent on items, because like I said, I would have spent that money anyway, could have sold on eBay. I'm still at $250 on FBA supplies, boxes, labels, the shrink wrap, the baggies, all that stuff. I've sold $491.49. You take out all the fees and stuff, and I'm pretty much in the hole, still $250. Take out the supplies and whatnot, because that's the cost of doing business, but I'm still at where I've only gotten the payout of $48.85. I've been charged $78.39 on my credit card. So even just that, just the fees, looking at those numbers, I'm still $30 in the negative, despite having spent or having sold almost $500 worth of product. I'm still negative $30 because of shipping costs and fees. So I'm just telling you, just so I see so many, I don't watch them all the way through, but you know, you see all these, make this much money on Amazon, make them, I'm making this, I'm making that. You have to consider the fees, the supplies. They are real costs. They add up. The postage to send stuff in, that really adds up. With the stuff I've been sending in, it's longer sales. So like the Christmas stuff, I have sold some of it, but a lot of it's gonna sit there for a while. The books I've gotten, I got them free, I sent them in, but they're taking a while. There's that race to the bottom when you go into your inventory and people are beating you by a penny, and you can keep going down with that trend till you get to a point where you're in the negative to sell something. So you really, really have to be careful. Now that I have the scanner and I'm trying to, I mean, if I get free books, I'm going to get free books and bring them home, do whatever. But if I'm out and I'm scanning things, I'm trying to stick to things that I can make at least $5 net profit. And when you consider the $5 net profit that the scanner app shows you, that's not factoring in the shipping costs to send those items in. It's not considering what you paid for the item. It's not considering the supplies and everything you need to prepare that. So I actually probably should up that even more. You know, if you have a $10 item, by the time you take out fees, the postage it costs you to ship, the supplies and everything, you're probably looking at a profit of $4, which if you're doing a volume is fine. But if you're just looking in to send things here and there, it's one of those things like if you can sell it on eBay, you might as well just sell it on eBay for the lower cost. So my strategy moving forward will be to definitely look over the numbers better before I send things in. Make sure that I'm actually going to make a profit, that I'm not in the negative, because there have been items I've sold that I'm in the negative for because the race to the bottom went so far down. What I paid for the item, what it cost me to ship, I'm in the negative. So I really got to be careful on that. And I am now going to start labeling my own products, because this brings us to the next issue. I was letting Amazon label the stuff. I paid an extra fee. I was fine with it. I would still be fine with it, except for the fact when Amazon labels things, they get commingled, meaning they just get thrown in with everything else that's there. So let's say me and 5 other people are sending in the same CD. We're letting Amazon label it. Amazon labels our CDs. They throw them all into one bucket. Whoever is on the top and somebody buys it, that one goes first until the pile's gone. Well, if the condition issues or condition is any different, that's where you get bit in the butt. And this is where I've gotten bit in the butt. I had CDs that I was sending in brand new, sealed, original manufacturer seal. Somebody left me a feedback. They were happy, they love the CD, but they did give me a 4 instead of 5 because the CD wasn't sealed. Mine was sealed, but it got commingled, so a non-sealed one went out. I had another instance, I got a 1, a negative, because a package of something I'd sent in somehow in the Amazon warehouse or packaging, it got opened and it came to her and it was missing parts. It didn't have, I think it was a different item. It had a different number of those little pieces of shoe cleats or something. Didn't have the same number as my package had. I don't know. So I got a 1 on that. Yeah, so now that I know that I can use a laser printer and have labels on the way, I will be labeling my own products so that hopefully when somebody buys what I have, they will actually get the item I sent in. And that's why I want to start in the condition issues. Then I can say the exact condition, especially for used items like books. You know, I've sent in a lot that were like new, but I've sent in some where there were some condition issues, like a little writing or something. Well, if I let Amazon label, it goes into all the other books that are acceptable or good. And someone else's version of good may not be my version, and somebody gets a book that I didn't send in, but I get the feedback for it, which is also the other thing about Amazon. It's not like eBay. Most people on Amazon do not leave feedback. They only leave feedback if there's a problem. I think in the 4 years I sold on Amazon, I only got 250 feedbacks compared to eBay, where I am almost at 8,000 feedbacks. So it's a lot less. People just don't leave feedback the way they do on eBay. So from here on in, I'm going to be labeling my own products. I'll have more control. I'm going to be cracking down on what I actually send in. I've definitely gotten some things that will sell on Amazon, but when I consider in the shipping and the fees, it's better for me to sell it on eBay. So I'm going to be tightening that up. So that is the good, the bad, and the ugly about FBA. Yes, you can make money, but the fees are high. You have the shipping costs, and you do need to invest in some materials if you're going to be doing used items that maybe you have to repair, or you want to shrink wrap or put in a bag, whatnot. So that is my 2-month update on FBA. Let me know what you think. Are you selling on FBA? How are you finding the fees? How are you finding the shipping? Are you doing anything special in terms of only sending in items that are a certain dollar amount? I'd love to hear your feedback. I started this whole thing really as just kind of an experiment to see about it. I'm going to continue with it, but still the same as I do for eBay, and that's picking up stuff super, super cheap. 25 cents during a Goodwill sale, maybe get some free books, that type of stuff. I'm not going to be out at the stores scanning and buying a lot of retail. I mean, I did because I know those things were going to sell, but because that racks up your credit card. If things don't sell in the first 30 days, you're going to have interest. So it's really easy to rack up credit card fees and FBA fees and shipping costs, and you can really get yourself into a hole with FBA, so just be careful. But I hope you guys like this update video. I promised I would give you one. In a couple months, maybe I'll come back and let you know how things have progressed as I try some different strategies. So that is it for this one, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.